Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about just my last experience at the fragrance counter. It wasn't the best. I had initially filmed like a vlog where I took you guys shopping with me, and then I realized pretty much every shot was with loud background music that I'm pretty sure is copywritten, so I'm like, I can't use this. So I figured I would kind of summarize it, which was my experience, which is a really not great, not bad experience with the fragrance essay, and then a new essay which was fantastic. And I'm also going to give you my thoughts on Creed White Amber. So this is going to be kind of a talky video. This might be a little bit long because you guys know I talk like crazy, but let's get into it. I don't know why I'm doing this with my fingers. First, if you guys are just interested in my thoughts on White Amber, let me throw this out there. It did not work on my skin. I smelled it on a strip. I immediately knew there's something about this that isn't going to work for me. I don't know what note it is, but I don't know. So I sprayed it on the back of my hand, and after about an hour and a half, it just smelled sour and metallic and not properly. Like, you guys know I don't mind sour fragrances, but like with White Amber, I was expecting something crisp and resinous, and to me it kind of smelled like Creed's way of trying to do like Chanel No. 18, but it like just completely missing the mark. So I am not a fan of it. It probably is completely to do on my body chemistry. So I'm not going to do a full review on it. I'm not going to do a, hey, this is my review on it, because I just don't think I'd be able to do it correctly, because I think my skin is just pulling it all weird. But it's definitely not something I'm going to be picking up. So if that's the only thing you wanted to know of this video, there you go. Okay, so Creed White Amber. I wanted to buy a few atomizers from Creed. I love them. I'm like obsessed. I like the big ones, the little ones, love them. I was also interested in maybe picking up a bottle of Aventus and maybe White Flowers. I had sampled White Flowers. I've been really enjoying it, and I was like, we'll see. And then I was interested in maybe picking up a bottle of something else. I forget what it was. So my thought is I would go there, I would see if my rep was there. If not, I don't like to bother anybody, because if I'm not gonna buy, but I was like, I really want to get something, you know, I was like in the mood to make a purchase. You ever get that? Like, you're like, I need to buy something right now. And for me, whenever I get that urge, I'm in Neiman Marcus or Saks, which is like the most dangerous place for me. Like, I should be in the dollar store when I do that. But no, I'm not. So I was like, okay, Lawrence isn't here. This, the Creed rep, Lawrence used to work for Creed, or be the Creed specialist, but now he's with Mason Francis Kirk John, but you know, everyone can help everyone. And so I go in, and it's kind of late, like around 6. There's nobody in the mall, like nobody, like there's parking everywhere, and there was nobody in Neiman Marcus. There was like, I think 3 customers in the entire cosmetic area, and I was one of the 3. So I was like, okay, there's nobody here. Maybe because I don't feel bad if nobody's there, like testing and trying things. Because if there's a lot of customers there, I feel bad because I don't want to take any of their time, especially if they're definitely going to buy something. Because I try to respect my essay's time. So I was like, well, Lawrence isn't here, so I'm probably not going to buy like everything. But maybe I'll get like a bottle or something, you know, like we'll see. Because when I met Lawrence, there was somebody else who was my essay at the fragrance counter, and Lawrence would come by and he would just talk, you know. That's how I kind of like developed the essay relationship, because like he would always come over and just talk. He always respected the other essay. If Lawrence was there and their essay was like on break or in the back, he'd be like, it's gonna be back in 15 minutes, do you want to try sample, you know, like he was very exuberant. And so when this other person transferred or got a promotion, I was like, I have this relationship with this guy, he's my new essay, and it's great. And so I'm always open to developing relationships with other essays. Like, what if Lawrence isn't there and I need to get something? What if Jody is there and I need to get something? I mean, Jody is my La Mer rep, and then the person that she works with, Gail, I love as well. I'll purchase from Gail, you know, like I like having other people I can purchase from and be loyal to. You know, it works out in my favor and their favor. So as Lawrence had introduced me to this guy, he's like, this is, you know, this is Kristen. She buys a lot. And I'm like, he probably says that about everyone because I know I don't spend nearly as much money as I should to be, you know, introduced like that. And the guy was all excited initially, like, hey, you know, gave me a whole bunch of samples, you know, was really interested in talking to me and my mom. My mom was there, gave her a bunch of samples, and I'm like, okay, this guy's really nice. This is good to know, like, if Lawrence isn't here and I need to get something, I can, you know, develop a relationship with him. And I went there today, and he was way off in the other side, as far away from Creed, and he had his back turned, and he was talking with somebody else. So like I walk around and I kind of like walk past him. He's like, oh, hi. And I'm like, hey, how are you? He's like, good. And I'm like, is Lawrence here? Because I always ask if one of my essays are there. He's like, no, he's off today. I'm like, okay. He's like, well, if you need anything, let me know. I'm like, all right. So I walk right to the Creed counter, and he turns his back to me, and then he starts talking. And I don't begrudge him this because it looked like I was leaving. Because the Creed counter is right as you leave. And I had asked if Lawrence is there. When he said no, I said, oh, okay. And so I was walking to the Creed counter, and I didn't say anything, which is fine. That was on me. I figured I would sample a few things, like put it on strips, and you know, like try the strips out. I didn't need anybody's help to do that. Now, normally what they do is they have all of the bottles out for you to sample, but they only have the real exclusives out. All the other ones are put up really high, and I was like, oh no, I wanted to try like 3 or 4 of those and put them on strips. So I was like, do I ask for help? I'm like, no, I'm gonna go through the white ones by myself. So I was like, I didn't want to bother him because he was talking, you know. I don't care if he's like relaxing, maybe he was busy, it doesn't matter to me. What mattered to me is I was like looking and sampling things, and he like looks over and goes, and like goes back, and I saw him do that like twice. And so like I didn't make eye contact with him, and I was like, So I was like, whatever, maybe he just thinks I'm sampling. I do that a lot. I come in, I spray things, and I like take strips and I walk away. That wasn't the deal with this. After I had been there for literally probably like 5 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you only got 5 samples, 5 fragrances to sample, I see him turn around, and again I was kind of like, and he walks over and he's just very pleasant. He's like, hi. And I was like, I want to know if you guys have white amber, and I would like to know if I can get a sample of white flowers. And he's like, sure. And he's like, you know, if you pre-buy white amber, we give you this discovery set. And he shows me the discovery set, and I'm like, that's great. I'd like to try it. It's right there. Can you hand me the bottle first before you try to sell me on these gifts with purchases? Like, I don't need to be sold. I don't buy things for gift with purchases. I would like to try it. And so he kind of like leaves it out and shows me, excuse me. My throat's been blah. Shows me it. No problem. I ask if I can get a sample of it. And he's like, at this time, we can't give you a sample. I'm like, okay. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was like, okay. I was like, can I spray it on the back of my hands? And he's like, I guess, sure, yeah, to see if you like it. I guess if you're gonna pre-order it. And I'm like, oh, if I'm gonna pre-order it, I'd like to at least know how it smells on my skin. So he did, and I don't know if like they're very weird about like new releases that aren't released yet. So I mean, I'm not gonna knock him on that. I'm gonna knock him on this though. I asked for a sample of white flowers, and I've gone to so many different Creed counters and gotten samples from them. I know how you're supposed to get samples from Creed. I have 2 examples here. The example is, normally what I get is you get this thing, and then they write the name down, and there's a little, here is where they put your business card, their business card. Whenever I ask for Creed samples, I will not ask for more than 3. And generally, if I'm asking for 3, I will buy a fragrance, you know, like, I'm definitely buying. Any Creed representative I worked with pretty much has been at least very generous to give me at least 1. Again, I don't ask for a lot. what Lawrence does is I get one of these guys, and I get at least, and these are empty because I decanted these, I get at least 2, if not 3 of these full of the fragrance that I want to try. And then what he'll do is he'll spritz a strip, write it on there, or write some of the notes and put it in here for me. And I have so many of these. I don't know if people collect these or sell, I don't know. I haven't gotten rid of them yet. And that's what Lawrence does. I don't expect this ever. Even when Lawrence does it, I'm always like, that's so nice of you. I at least expect this. At most this much. This is actually a lot. If I get half of one of these vials, I'm usually very happy. Lawrence fills them up. Like I said, I know Lawrence is being very generous with me and is having a relationship. And I don't expect full. Half is fine. But the card is nice to let me know what the sample is. So this guy gives me just a vial. He spritzes in there 5 times. It's not even a quarter full. And he's like, here you go. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, you know, I was like, do you have like this fragrance, this fragrance? He's like, yeah, you can try it. And he just spritzes it on strips for me and just puts the bottle back. And I'm just like I'm not gonna steal these things, you know, buddy. I'm trying to decide which one I want to buy. And this white flower one's very expensive, and I probably would buy a big you know, big one of it, you know, like the $800, you know. But he just was very stingy. Like, again, like, at least a card, you know? A card with his card in it, with the name written. They were right next to these vials. I saw them. I was expecting him to grab both of them, and I was kind of like, okay, all right. I'm like, I'm gonna take these strips. I had the strips all. I wrote the names on the back of what they were. I'm like, I'm gonna sample these. I'm going up to get some coffee and some dinner. You know, I'll figure out what I'd like, and I'll come back. And he's like, okay. And I was like, again, like, with Lawrence, he's like, okay, you know, like, I'm not expecting, like, hey, let's be best friends, here's a Valentine's and invite to my birthday party, you know, like, but I do expect a little bit of being genuine. He just seemed like he wanted to go back to his conversation with the person, and I was getting in the way of that. And I was like, I don't know if I like you, because the thing is like, I developed the relationship with Lawrence with other SAs. If Lawrence isn't there and I need to buy something, I will buy. I was going to buy from this guy. I was like, I met him before, we talked, you know, with my mom, you know, he was really nice, but he had also, that was like his first day at that store. So this is how he normally is. I'm not gonna, you know, reward that. If I need to buy something, I was like, maybe I'll get an atomizer or 2. You know, I was gonna spend like a few $100, you know, not a lot, but just like maybe like 4 or 5. Go up, sample white amber, didn't like it, walk around, look for things upstairs, was up there for like an hour and a half, come back, leave. He sees me leave, doesn't say anything. That's fine. If it looks like I'm walking out and I'm not saying goodbye, because I didn't wave goodbye either, so I mean, it was just kind of like, there she goes. I was kind of like, okay, that's fine. You know, that's fine. Get a bunch of things. Come back. I noticed that they had a sale counter with Lolita Lampica. And then they had, I think it's I can never say French words. I love that fragrance. I haven't purchased a bottle of it yet, and it was like $30, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely getting it you. And I had it, and I was thinking about getting La Prairie, and the La Prairie's on the complete other side. And he was over there, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go over there and get him to help me with this stuff. I'm not buying fragrance. He wasn't really that helpful to me. I kind of felt like he was just trying to like get me out of there so that he could go back to talking. And it's not like he was doing anything or helping other customers. There's like no other customers in the store. So I was like waiting at the La Prairie counter, and the La Prairie rep was with one of her regular customers. Now, I've dealt with her before. She's very nice. And she was completely engrossed in a conversation with one of her customers. See, that's fine. That's fine. She's working with a customer. She's working with somebody that she has a relationship with. I won't ever butt in on that. They could be talking for like an hour and a half. She acknowledged me. She says, I'll be right with you when I'm done. And she went right back to talking. And I don't really find that rude. I don't find that rude because that's a customer. And if that's the attention that that customer wants, then the customer is the one that says, go help her real quick, I'll be right here. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to talk to her friends and her essay. That's fine. There was other people there. So I was like, okay, I'll wait. Not a big deal. Perfectly okay with that. Perfectly happy with that. That's totally acceptable. And that's kind of like, you know, I like seeing essays having good relationships with their clients. So there was this woman who was kind of putting things away, and she kind of like pops up and she's like, I can help you. And I was like, great. So and this is the you know, the good person. And she's like, well, what can you get? And I'm like, you know, I need the loose powder from La Prairie. She's like, okay. So she goes back there. The woman's like, it's over there real quick. You know, she's like, she apologized and she pointed and gave it to me. And she's like, do you need anything else? And I'm like, I want this. She's like, well, we're going to come over here. So we go to the Clé de Peau area. And I'm just like talking. We know we're talking. And she's like, do you need anything else? And I'm like, no, I don't need anything else, but I was just kind of like looking at some of the, she's like, do you know about Clé de Peau? I was like, I know a few things. And she's like, oh, I'm the Clé de Peau rep. And she just starts talking. We start talking about skincare for like 45 minutes. Seriously, she's kind of like, you know, like I sit down on the chair, and because, you know, it was like holding a bunch of stuff, and we're just talking. She's like telling me about different brands she's used. She was telling me about like some drugstore products she loved. She was, you know, like it was just so nice to talk to someone. And that's kind of like what I wanted from this guy. I was like, I would love to just talk to you about fragrance, discover some of these fragrances with you I haven't tried, and give you money. And that's kind of like what I do with Lawrence and what I do with Jody. I'll go in, we'll talk, and then like freaking like $800 later, I'm like, what happens? What happened? And she was just, it was lovely to talk to her. And she's like, do you shop here a lot? I'm like, yeah, Jody's my La Mer rep. She's great. She's not here. I love Gail. You know, I love Laura. She's like, oh, I love them too. And I was just talking, you know, just talking. And so then she starts talking about Clé de Peau. She's asked what I tried. I told her what I've tried, what I haven't tried, what I like, what I don't like from other brands. And she gave me a whole bunch of samples. She's like, let me give you some things to try. She's like, I was showing interest in purchasing something. Like, oh, I heard about this cream. It's really good. It was like $400 or $500. She's like, don't buy it. It's not going to work for you. I can tell you right now, I've been working with this brand forever. That is for people who are older than me. She's like, it won't do anything for your skin. You might think it'll do things, especially if you're interested in preventative skincare. That is for like way past preventative, like save my life. She's like, you don't need it. And I love that, the fact that she did that, because Jody does that too, and so does Lawrence. Is if there's something I want to buy and they're like, it's not going to work for you, don't waste your money, they will miss out on a sale, you know. I like that. Even if it's a sales tactic, it works on me. But they did have a new lip balm there that is SPF, and I needed an SPF lip balm. I just ran out of mine, so I was like, this is perfect. So I got that, and I got the La Prairie, and I got that, and I was there for like almost an hour just talking with her. I'm like, you know, if you need to go. She's like, no, this is great. She's like, you're nice, this is fun. You know. So I had a really great conversation, and the entire time, like, I just kept thinking to myself, like, this is the type of sales associates I like. I like the type that give you the time of day, you know? And that's why I had absolutely no issue with the La Prairie rep not ignoring me, but acknowledging that I was there, but giving her customer the time that that customer wanted. Because that customer purchased from her. I'm pretty sure that customer probably purchased from her from all the time. And, you know, that customer is like, this is what I want. I want to be talked to. I want to feel like this is somebody I can relate to, that this is like someone I can catch up with. And I would never get in the way with that, ever. If it was an emergency and I needed to go, I would find somebody else. So the fact of the matter is like those relationships, I love seeing essays have those relationships. That lets me know that those essays are worthwhile. And like I said before, I've worked with her before when I had to purchase a few things from La Prairie. She was great. She was wonderful. She was knowledgeable, and she treated me with so much respect, even though I was only buying like 2 things. So she's great. And that was great seeing her not neglect her customer. And I don't want, and the thing is like, neglectful essays to me are just so, I don't like them. So this was great. This was like a good experience because I have now another essay in that store that I really like, but we'll see the next time I go in and see how she works. We'll see if, you know, she's as nice, busy as she was slow, but it was just really nice to just talk, you know? So those are my experiences with the essays. I figured I'd share them with you. This is a long video, I'm sorry. I don't know, I just think quality essays are so important, you know? They really make or break a sales decision, you know? The thing is like the creep guy, like maybe he was having an off day. So I mean, essays like a handful of chances, like, you know, like 5 or 6. Jody, the first time I met her, I didn't buy anything from her, but I talked to her for like 20 minutes and she won me over immediately, so fast. She was so knowledgeable, so genuine, and very, when I say honest, I mean honest too. I'm a salesperson. And, you know, and I expect them to always be sales. I expect them to try to sell me things. That is their job. That is why they're there. You know, they're not coffee time, time off, let's go. It was very, very much a, I'm a salesperson, but I'm relating to when we're talking and we're interacting, and I love that. Lawrence, again, I developed the relationship with him through talking with him when I had another essay, you know, and then this other one came like that too. And Gail I had met actually before Jody. She's the other La Mer rep, and she initially from the get-go was so nice. So I mean, the thing with me is like when you find good essays, they make spending your money so easy. It makes the entire experience feel less dirty, you know? Have you ever gone to an essay and they're like, you go to a counter and they're like throwing you cards for samples, or you walk past like a kiosk and they're like kind of like stopping you to give you a sample? It's like, I don't like that. It's too, I don't mind being sold to, because I know it's their job, so I don't mind being sold to. I just want to feel like you're not looking at me like a giant wallet. I want to be a wallet with a face and a personality. That's what I want. A wallet that deserves to be acknowledged for being more than just a wallet. And that's what I love about my essays. I really do. I'm just so, like, they're so awesome. And they make shopping and this whole experience wonderful. So I'm really happy to have a new one. Again, we'll see. Like I said, good and bad. I give them a handful of tries, but initially blew it out of... What is that, ballpark? Right out of the ballpark. Threw it, hit it. I don't know. I'm not good with baseball analogies, metaphors. But hit it like out of the ballpark. I think that's it. And just, it was so nice and refreshing just to be able to talk to somebody about skincare, because I love talking about skincare, and having that experience. And again, the crate guy, if he had just given me a freaking card, this wouldn't have happened. So all I had to do was put it in a card. You know, not filling it even a quarter, I guess I can understand. But like not even giving me a freaking card with the name on it. It's like, how am I supposed to know what this is when I take it home? Anyway, this video is way longer than it should be, and it's very ranty, and I'm not ranting, although I am. I'm just kind of talking to you guys. I like to just talk to you guys. And I did have, again, like when I have good essay experiences, I always love telling you guys about them. And when I have lackluster ones, I want to tell you about them too. This guy wasn't bad. I didn't call him over the few times when I was sampling things and he looked over at me. So I'm not going to begrudge him that. I'm not going to be begrudging him that he thought I was leaving and he didn't acknowledge me. I'm not going to be begrudging him maybe not being able to give me samples of something that wasn't available for sale yet. That wasn't the issue. The issue was kind of like the send-off. I would like to try this, would like to try these other things that are put away, and he would spritz the card, put it back real quick, and then like hand it to me. Like it was very, like kind of like the kiosk people who hand you the samples. It was very like far away, like here. You know, and it was kind of like, Like, I just kind of felt like he was just waiting for me to leave. I think even if I had bought something from him, it would have seemed like I was inconveniencing him. And so I was just kind of like, but we'll see. Again, initially he was very nice. He was wonderful to my mom, and that's to me, like, you can be rude to me, I can kind of deal with it, but if you're rude to my family, I see, my blood boils, like my eyes light on fire. Like, I will make a scene if I think you're being rude to my sister, my dad, my mom, anybody, my family. I will be that person. I will fight for them. I will stand up for them. So the fact that he was wonderful with my mom, gave her a bunch of samples like a month or two ago, was very genuine, very nice. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe he didn't think I was buying anything and I was just like trying to get stuff from him without purchasing. I mean, we'll see. The next time I go in, if he's there, we'll see how it goes. But I will say one thing, and I wish I knew her name, that Clyde Porep was like beautiful. And she made that entire trip worthwhile because I had such fun talking to her. So yeah. I'm gonna stop talking now because I feel like I've talked for like half an hour about these 2 essays. So yeah, that's my little story time video. And I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think that I'm being too harsh on this guy? What would you do? Because I also want to make sure that I'm not being bad. I don't want to feel like I'm taking things too far or thinking too much into it. Like, what would you guys do in that situation? Am I being too critical? Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry it's not a normal video, but I did kind of want to have a little talky video with you guys. So yeah, if you guys like these chatty videos, these story time-esque videos, give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe, because it's free and I'm free. And I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends as well. So always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I'll see you next time.